Hi folks, Dave, the Honest Audiophile. This is a bunch of USB-C dongles, and these are my honest audiophile impressions. I do want to thank HifiGo for providing the Hibi FC4 for review, and also for me, Lav Audio, for providing the DS100 for review. Alright, so dongles. I use them every day. I use them to review IEMs and some headphones. Which one's the best? Which one do I recommend? Which one do I like the most? And why? Well, first, what is a dongle? A dongle is an adapter so that you can use your phone, because most phones do not have headphone outputs anymore, so you have to connect it via a USB-C. A lot of manufacturers do include an adapter in the box with the phone, but most of those are mediocre at best. So aftermarket ones have come along that sound a whole lot better to the ears of audiophiles. And these are some of the newer ones and some of the ones that I recommend. Today we're going to discuss the Hibi FC4, the Hibi FC3, the Lav Audio DS100, periodic audio Rhodia, and the next drive Spectre X. Now, all 5 of these sound very good, and all 5 of them get a recommendation for me based on sound alone. But there are differences in overall performance. So let's start with what is my current go-to dongle, and that is the periodic audio Rhodia. Why is this my go-to USB-C dongle? Costs $50. It's capable of doing 32-bit 384, and it has a peak output performance of 62 milliwatts at 32 ohms. It has enough power for the majority of IEMs. Does not do very well with over-ear headphones, and it doesn't do well with planar IEMs. But with pretty much any other IEM, it is very capable power-wise. It sounds very neutral and natural, has a very, very good reproduction of natural tone and timbre, and good detail retrieval and resolution. This is probably the most natural and accurate sounding dongle I have ever heard. Next, we have the Lav Audio DS100. Now, the Lav Audio DS100 does include a Cirrus Logic DAC chip, which is a CS43198. It is capable of doing 32-bit, and it is up to DSD 256. Output power is a little bit different than it is on the Rhodia. It is 16 ohms, it's 156 milliwatts, so it has a lot more power than the periodic audio, and at 32 ohms it's 87.5 milliwatts. So it has some oomph to it. It can power some easy to drive over-ear headphones, something like a Rode NTH100, and it does very well with the majority of IEMs. Again, it struggles with planar IEMs, does not give it the drive that it really needs in order to sound good, but it will get a planar IEM to volume. Overall, the sound is slightly different than the periodic audio. You still get a lot of detail retrieval and resolution, but it does have a more energetic and a little bit more cold analytical side to it, and it loses a little bit of that natural connection. It doesn't quite have that naturalism to this overall tone and timbre. Then you have the next drive Spectre X. Now this is the most expensive of the dongles. This comes in at $130, and it can do all kinds of things. It has a Sabre 9018 Q2C chip in it, 32384 DSD 512. It has 49 milliwatts at 32 ohms, and it can do up to 2 VRMS at 600 ohms. This will drive over-ear headphones, kind of. It's not the most powerful, but man, it sounds really good with IEMs. And planar IEMs, again, struggle on it. It just doesn't have quite enough of what is needed to get the full abilities of a planar IEM, but everything else, it sounds fantastic. The NextDrive Spectre X is warmer. It has a very lush and just natural organic type of analog type of sound. It is got very good detail retrieval and resolution. If you're looking for a more laid back, everyday listen type of sound, the NextDrive Spectre X. And then we go into the Hibi FC3. Now the Hibi FC3 is capable of doing 90 milliwatts at 32 ohms, so it has pretty good power. It also is 32384 DSD 128 and MQA enabled, and it has a Sabre 9281 Pro DAC chip in it. And I really like the FC3. FC3 is probably about the closest in sound to the Rhodia when it comes to overall naturalism in sound. Has a slight bit more power, but again, it still struggles with planar. And the only difference is that the Hibi is slightly brighter, and it has a little bit more cold side to it. It loses just a little bit of naturalism when comparing it to the Rhodia. The Rhodia still has it beat in natural tone and timbre slightly, but I really do enjoy the FC3 a whole lot. They are the same price as the Rhodia at $50, so if you really want the MQA and the DSD capabilities and just that little bit more power, the FC3 is about the closest thing you can get to my recommendation of the periodic audio Rhodia. And then last but not least, you have the Hibi FC4. Now this is a little bit chunkier, and I did forget to mention this about the FC3. You do have volume controls and also track selection controls. You also have that on the FC4. The other thing that you get with the FC4 is balanced out with 4.4. You also get dual DAC chips. You get dual ES Sabre 9218 PC chips. And so with the dual chips, you get a little bit better, cleaner sound. You also get a little bit more power with the FC4. The FC4 on 3.5 is capable of 70 milliwatts at 32 ohms, and at the 4.4 balanced, you get 340 milliwatts at 32 ohms. And that makes the FC4 able to drive planar IEMs. A lot different than the other dongles that we've discussed so far. The FC4 has the most power and is capable of driving some easier to drive over-ear headphones, plus those hard to drive planar IEMs. And I find that the Hibi FC4 also is able to do all kinds of bit rates. And just like its sibling to FC3, it can do more though. It can do 32,768 DSD 256 plus MQA. And so you get a whole lot packed into the FC4 that you don't get in the other options of dongles, but it is $90. So sound wise, the FC4 is on par with the periodic audio Rhodia. It sounds fantastic. It may be just slightly warmer than the periodic audio Rhodia, but they are on par when it comes to detail retrieval, resolution, tone, timbre. I love the FC4, and yeah, I do think it is a good value for its price tag of $90. And so how would I rank all these dongles? So we have the FC4, NextDrive Spectre X, Periodic Audio Rhodia, Lav Audio DS100, and the FC3 from Hibi. And so if I were to rank these based on performance alone, so how do they drive gear, it would be the FC4, the Lav Audio DS100, the FC3, the Periodic Audio Rhodia, and the NextDrive Spectre X. But power isn't the only thing, sound also. And so overall, sound-wise, I would rank them as Periodic Audio Rhodia, the Hibi FC4, the Hibi FC3, the NextDrive Spectre X, and then the Lav Audio DS100. How would I rank them based on overall performance and sound? And I would have to go with Hibi FC4, Periodic Audio Rhodia, the Hibi FC3, the Lav Audio DS100, and the NextDrive Spectre X. Best value for the money is the Periodic Audio Rhodia, followed by the Hibi FC4, because the Hibi FC4 has the most power and a very good sound and offers balanced if you need it. Then you would get the FC3, the Lav Audio DS100, and the NextDrive Spectre X. I recommend all of these, but my go-tos are the Hibi FC4 and the Periodic Audio Rhodia. It's been Dave, the Honest Audiophile. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video. Speaking of next videos, somewhere on the screen, subscription links, notification bells. If you haven't already, please check those off. Don't forget to give a thumbs up or a thumbs down to the video. And if you have any questions regarding gear that was used and rankings for music and all kinds of other things, check out the links down below. Also, there's all kinds of information there regarding how you can contact the channel, follow the channel, support the channel. All that kind of stuff is listed down below. And don't forget to enjoy the music, and that honesty is the best policy.